With so much stress centered around the NFL draft, what better time to have some fun? Today, we are going to be doing the Wheel of Insanity. This is heavily related to Bengal's Wheel of Chaos he does every year. So, shout out Bengal for the awesome video idea. Want to give him his props. That's why I saw do it first. But yeah, we're going to have some fun today. I'm going to try to keep mine a little more realistic than he does his. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what's going to be on the wheel for today's video. We got consensus pick. We got a massive reach. We got insanity. So I'm going off the walls with that. Massive trade, a small trade, another massive reach, a high riser throughout the offseason process. My choice, the mind of the GM of the team that is picking. We got quarterback, trenches, playmaker, insanity, DBs, my choice again. Small trade, reach, consensus, massive trade, and another reach. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle this up a couple of times. Bang. And now we are going to go ahead and get started. And before we do, I'm going to send Fernando number one to the Raiders. I think that should by far be the easiest, most basis. You have to start this way in order to keep it semi realistic. Like I said, I don't want this to look insane, which if other people like theirs like that, all power to them. Me personally, not really so much. So let's go ahead and get started on the Wheel of Insanity mock draft. Been looking forward to this for a while. All right, so this is kind of interesting. It's going to land on consensus for the New York Jets here at the second pick. Can't really tell you, like, what is the consensus? It feels like they're so split on Arvel Reese and David Bailey. It's not funny. So it's like, which of these guys would be considered the consensus? Based on what I hear from the top analysts and what they have been reporting, I personally would say David Bailey sounds like the consensus second overall pick as of right now. Let's move to the Cardinals at number 3 overall. And the Cardinals are going to be able to go with a high riser. So, who would be best suited as the high riser here, third overall for the Cardinals? I wouldn't say Arvel Reese is a high riser. People have been relatively high on him for a while. Sonny Styles certainly has been a high riser. He has shot up draft board since the combine. So it's like Styles, I think you could consider. Maui Noah kind of became a high riser at the end of the college football season, jumping um from like the mid teens, early 20s to a top 10 pick. So I guess he might. I'm kind of trying to stick with like the off-season program who has gained the most when it comes to this type of pick. Ty Simpson, I don't want to take here. I would say Jeremiah Love maybe also could be considered because it feels like he was always mocked 8 or 9, and now he's kind of consensus top 5. I'm going to go with Sonny Styles, though, for the sake of a high riser third overall. I'm not going to say it's super realistic because I don't think it is. But in terms of a guy that has gained a lot of draft stock and probably made a lot of money over the past couple of months based on his combine performance, I would say Sonny Styles is a high riser and he is a big time need for the Cardinals. So Styles is going to be going third. Shut the door. Um, shut the door. All right, number 4 for the Tennessee Titans is going to be my choice, and y'all probably aren't going to like this. I think based on how Robert Sala runs his defense and what he typically likes, my vote personally would be Arvel Reese over Jeremiah Love. I'm not really on the big time hype train to take a running back fourth overall. I love Jeremiah Love. I think he'd be a great addition to the Titans offense. I don't think it's the biggest need. I'd say the pass rush is worse than the running back room in Tennessee. Edge rusher is obviously way more valuable than a running back fourth overall and really just in general. So my vote, my choice would be Arvel Reese, fourth overall to the Titans. Number 5, New York Giants. What are we doing for the Giants? Oh, we got to pull off a massive trade, and the Giants kind of have already done that themselves. So let's see how we're going to be able to make this possible at number 5 for the Giants. We are going to go ahead. Who could we trade with here? I'm gonna say like a massive trade to me has to be like 10 plus picks. So it's like the Cowboys. I don't think they'd want to do that to begin with. Sonny Styles already off the board. Pass rushers are going outside of Ruben Bain. And for the sake of realism, like I don't want to trade up for a running back. I don't want to trade up for like a safety. I think the New York Jets are going to call. They're across town, same city, but across town rival in the New York Giants. And man, this is going to be a monster one. Like you're talking about 16-5 to me feels like it'd have to be 16-44, and we'll give up the Colts first round pick next year. So the Giants pick up two first round picks, get another top 50 pick. Even that I don't think is enough. I'm going to say 33, which it won't affect the mock. But yeah, we are going to have a massive trade in the New York Jets, who already secured David Bailey, are going to walk away with their wide receiver one of the future and Cardinal Tate out of Ohio State. All right, number 6. Let's see what the wheels got for us this time with the Cleveland Browns here at 6. Hey man, I think that would have been my choice anyways, is in the trenches for the Browns pick right here. Cardinal Tate's off the board. If they're sticking and picking, that to me feels the most realistic. And if we're going in the trenches, I'm going with my top tackle, Francis Mauigoa, out of Miami. Whether you want to move Mauigoa over to left tackle, I think that's an option. If you want to move Titus Howard, who's played a little bit of left tackle, that's also on the table. Mauigoa is the overall best offensive lineman. That's the one I would be selecting. All right, number 7 for the Washington Commanders here. What does the wheel have for us? We are going to be making go to small trade, go to small trade, go to small trade. Let's go. I love trading with the Commanders whenever I can. So this should be fun. And Jeremiah Love being on the board kind of feels like potentially could be a thought for someone to trade up for. Ruben Bain, I think, would also be a really popular name. I think we're going to do I think we're gonna do an in division trade, which if you want to argue that in the comments, I understand why you could potentially be upset about that. But I think we're gonna send the Cowboys just don't have the assets though. Like that would be my big problem. And we start to get to maybe it's the Giants. Maybe the Giants are the in division trade because they have more capital than what they know what to do with. So maybe it's like move 37 back to 71. That alone, I think would almost get the deal done, and then we'll send 192 for 192. So we'll flip 71 and 37 and send 192. So the Commanders move their third round pick to an early second, and the Giants are now on the board once again with the second trade. And it was small, 3 spots. And we came up to select Caleb Downs out of Ohio State to get John Harbaugh, his elite safety on his defense. Javon Holland has 2 years left on his deal, really has fallen off a cliff the past 2 years. Tyler Nubin has not been good at the NFL level. Ardarius Washington really missed a lot of last year for the Ravens. So we're going to go ahead and get the best player in the draft via our second trade with the Giants, and we're going Caleb Downs. All right, number 8. What do we want to do here for the New Orleans Saints, or what do we have to do? All right, awesome. DB. We just got to take a defensive back, and yeah, man, I think with Caleb Downs off the board, this easily becomes Mansour Delane for me personally. I mean, I'm not going to say I prefer Delane over Downs, but for the Saints in specific, I think they need Delane more than they need Downs. I think he would be a perfect um Alontae Taylor replacement in their secondary. So yeah, I'm all for that pick. All right, number 9 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Hmm. So we got to go with a reach. So in my opinion, that like it's not Jeremiah Love, Ruben Bain. Hmm. I feel like some people would probably consider Jermod McCoy a reach at this point in time, just with the overall medical concerns and not getting a lot of first or like top 10 buzz, but it's not like a super reach. He's still a great player. He's number 16 on my big board considering the injuries. Spencer Fano is another name that really intrigues me. I'm not taking an edge rusher. I think like massive reach would be like a Keldrick Falk, TJ Parker pick here, 9th overall. Fano, I guess people would say it's a reach because you don't really need a starting right tackle right now, but he could be your long term guy. Monroe Freeling, the same thing could be said. Kenyon Sadiq, I do think it is early. But I mean, overall, you could use a slot wide receiver. Travis Kelce signed a 3-year deal. That's not really a 3-year deal. I think Kenyon Sadiq probably would be considered a reach, but I think it is realistic he could potentially go as high as number 9 overall based on the athleticism. So we're going to take tight end Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon to the Chiefs in order to make a reach pick for them. All right, number 10 for the Washington Commanders because of the trade. Don't, don't. Okay, the Commanders are going to be quite active. Like I said, this isn't supposed to be hyper realistic. I just wanted to keep it somewhat realistic. And do we make a second in division trade? No, I'm not going to do that. Um, Small to me is like 1 to 5 spots. I think it's going to be Tampa Bay is the team I'm going to call up here, and we are going to say, "Hey Tampa, we want pick 77, and we also want some capital next year. Give us your third." So 2 third-round picks to move up 5 spots into the top 10. I don't think that's bad for Tampa Bay. Washington clearly benefits from it as well. And Tampa Bay now has moved up to select Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami to get an elite edge rusher opposite of Yaya Diaby. Number 11 for the Miami Dolphins, Ty Simpson on the thumbnail. That doesn't mean it's going to be Ty Simpson unless it is. I might have to respin this. And I know we have Malik Willis, but like based on how the Dolphins are set up, they just gave Malik a 3-year deal that really doesn't start paying him till 2027. So it's not going to benefit you to. It really doesn't benefit you at all from adding Ty Simpson to the quarterback room, and it is to me so unlikely, and like just you can't really explain it to me. And I know I'm going to get backlash because I'm a Dolphin fan and I don't want to pick Ty Simpson. You're right. You're right. Rip on me in the comments if you want. I don't want to do it. It's not treating my Dolphins right. All right, a massive reach, in my opinion. This is pretty easy for me. He's probably going to be a top 20 pick. I've mocked him to the Dolphins at 30 before. Maybe he is viewed as the best pass rusher on the board after the top 3 go off the board. We're going to go Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, and that is something I could honestly see happening. He fits Jeff Hafley's defense very well, and I think to the consensus of a lot of us fans and mock drafters, we would say this is a massive reach for taking Keldrick Falk near the top 10 out of 11. So Keldrick Falk is a Dolphin. Number 12 for the Dallas Cowboys. This is interesting because I wouldn't necessarily say there's a consensus pick on the board for the Cowboys. Like, it's getting to the point where Jeremiah Love might just be considered the consensus because he is clearly the best player on the board. I would say it's probably one of these secondary players with Thieneman and McCoy. And with McCoy's injury history, I'm going to say it's going to be Thieneman would be the consensus vote for Cowboy fans. Let me know if I'm wrong down below, Dallas fans, if you don't agree with me. All right, 13 for the LA Rams is going to be viewed as a reach. This one's probably pretty easy for me. I mean, because in terms of Makai Lemon and Jordan Tyson being on the board, I think people would say Omar Cooper Jr. is a reach, but I think he fits the offense very well. Plug and play slot wide receiver, great after the catch, overall solid route runner, good hands as well. I think it'd be probably a reach to a lot of people to see him go before Lemon and Tyson, but overall, I mean, I think he's a top 21 pick. Like the Steelers at 21, I feel like should be around the floor for Omar Cooper, in my personal opinion. 14 for the Ravens. Okay, it's on the wheel for a reason, and I am going to use it. Huh. Insanity. Like, this has to be something off the rail. And like Bengal did Ty Simpson for him. All power to him. I can't do that. You know what? I'm going to go Jeremiah Love. I'm gonna take Jeremiah. I think it would be labeled as insanity if Jeremiah Love was available 14th overall and the Ravens were the team that took Jeremiah Love in the first round. So I do think that falls under insanity. Derrick Henry's what, 32 years old, turned 32 in January, I believe. It just, Father Time is going to catch up to him at some point. Father Time's undefeated. So maybe they look to the future, and with such an elite prospect on the board, 14th overall, I think it would be insane if this was a turnout to the NFL draft. All right, number 15 for the Commanders. Okay, back to dude. I'm sorry, Commander fans. I'm sorry. This would be the craziest thing I've ever seen if someone traded down three times in the first round, and a massive trade to me would be like Arizona. I think this would have to be Arizona calling up Washington and saying, "Hey, we'll send you 34-65 or maybe 34-104 in our first rounder next year in order to take Ty Simpson." So that is going to be the massive trade. And wow, that sucks because now the Commanders might not make a first. If I get another trade, I will try to trade up with the Commanders back into the first round, or maybe I'll take this video to 34 for Commander fans. All right, what are we at? 16, 16th overall. We're going with a reach for the New York Giants, I believe. And it's not a massive reach, but it is still a reach. Mm. Linebacker to me would be a massive reach at this point. Corner, like maybe it could be Colton Hood. That wouldn't be a huge reach to me. Like Denzel Boston feels like he's too close to a massive reach in terms of going before Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson that I almost don't want to do it, but I'm not really seeing anything else I can do. Like Vega's not a reach, Fano's not a reach. Pregnon kind of feels like a massive reach based on the consensus. I think the closest thing I could do here for the New York Giants in terms of what their team looks like would be to take Denzel Boston over Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson, kind of in the similar boat as taking Omar Cooper over them. If you prefer a big physical receiver, then maybe you reach to go get the one you prefer. So, yeah, the Giants had quite the eventful Wheel of Insanity mock draft. This works. Oh, this is the Lions, isn't it? All right, this is going to be kind of funky because the Lions are 17th and they're supposed to be taking a DB. I'm not taking a safety. You got DJ Reed. You got Terry and Arnold, who hasn't panned out very good. You got Roger McCreary, so I don't want Avion Terrell. I think this would be a best player available scenario for the Lions to walk out with Jermod McCoy night one, and they're just saying, hey, he's the best player on the board here. He's got to be the pick. Number 18 for the Minnesota Vikings. Where are we going for the Vikings? Godspeed, Vikings fans. Godspeed. And yeah, I think I have it immediately. Like in terms of realism, I don't see a way that like in terms of insanity, like I don't see Keith Abney or D'Angelo Pons would be insane. I think the player that definitely makes the most sense, like you could argue maybe Jadarian Price would be true insanity. I think with the medical problems, I think it'd kind of be insane for Caleb Banks to still be a top 20 pick and the first defense tackle off the board. So that doesn't really feel insane though. Like insanity, like something you would have never guessed would happen. I'm gonna go D'Angelo Bonds. I mean, I get he's a nickel corner, but he is one of the most talented players in the draft. Yeah, he's 5'8", but he's a great athlete. Like, I think it would be insane if D'Angelo Ponce went ahead of some of the corners he did, and he went 18th overall to the Vikings. So, in terms of trying to live up to the word insanity, that's about as high as I can go. Hey, man, this kind of sucks because I don't think y'all are going to like my choice for the Carolina Panthers here. Honestly, man, like, I like Makai Lemon a lot, but Icky's going to miss all this year. He's a free agent after this season. Taylor Moton could be cut next offseason to save 15 million. Rasheed Walker's on a 1 year, damn near a minimum deal. Like Spencer Fano is really tempting to me, and I think with the overall value of tackle being here, I personally would vote to take Spencer Fano. He has experience at left tackle and right tackle. He can be a long-term tackle for you. He can also fill in at guard if you have injuries. I think it's just a very good investment for the future of your team on the offensive line. All right, number 20 for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't do mine to GM because no one knows what Jerry's thinking. Damn. Okay, what would Jerry Jones be thinking here at 20? He got Dylan Thieneman. I think Jerry definitely thinks the Cowboys can win now. It's been heavily rumored for like a month or two now. The Cowboys desperately want a top edge rusher. The mind of Jerry Jones, I would say, would be Akeem Mesidor to help the team right this second try to win right now. So I think Cowboy fans, y'all let me know if you think that's accurate. But me personally, I would say yes. Ooh, this is fun. 21 is going to be a DB to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And to me, this is very easy. I think even like it makes a ton of sense, even with the hamstring injury for Avion Terrell to go to Pittsburgh. He can start in the nickel full time. He can play on the boundary if injuries happen. I'd say a lot of people think Terrell is a top 25 player in the draft, so that checks out as well. So yeah, I think that is a okay for the Steelers. All right, well, this clearly is not going to be the pick for the Chargers. Massive trade. All right, a massive trade for the LA Chargers. And like I said, it will be with Washington. Washington has been involved in what, four trades at this point? The Chargers need better draft capital, so we acquired 77. We'll give that to them. We'll also we'll send 187 as well. And then we'll send them a third next year. So they move back 12 spots, get a third, a future third, and a sixth round pick. I don't think that's too bad. And now the Washington Commanders have moved up in order to select Makai Lemon to be their dominant slot wide receiver for David Blau's offense to be his Amon-Ra St. Brown. 23 for the Eagles. If my boy Pluto watches this, he would be very happy with taking a quarterback here, but not going to be the case at all. So maybe if Ty Simpson was there, oh, don't do it to me again. Oh, it stayed on small trade. Thank the Lord. I was like, man, all these massive trades. All right, the Eagles got to make a small trade. I think that makes sense with all the value on the board. Like I said, I try to stay like 1 to 5 spots realistically. I think Houston makes a lot of sense with all the tackle value on the board to come up and select the one they want. Both of them have good capital, so maybe it's like pick 69 for 98 to give the Eagles 4 top 75 picks. And like I said, the Texans are moving up to select Monroe Freeling out of Georgia to be their long term right tackle. All right, 24 for the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to delete this off the board. I don't know why I haven't done it already, but with Ty Simpson gone, we're not taking another quarterback. Lord have mercy, dude. Another massive trade. Hey, at least the Browns have already made a first round pick, so I don't feel as bad trading out of the first. Took Maui Noah, someone I could see like moving up for Vega Ioane. Maybe like the Raiders in the second round, I think would be like a massive trade to secure a starting guard of the future for their quarterback. We'll do like 102 for 149. We'll also send like 134 for 248. So that's two big pick swaps. And then we'll send you a 3 next year. So the Raiders make a move up to secure their left or right guard of the future and Vega Ioane out of Penn State. All right, back to the wheel. 25 for the Chicago Bears. Hope y'all are having fun enjoying this video. Is this like the 15th trade of the video? Lord have mercy. All right, the Bears are also moving. To me, it kind of feels like this would be a Jordan Tyson-esque spot. Who would be the team? Maybe the 49ers could do like a pick swap with Chicago in order to get better like capital. Like maybe it'd be like 58 to 89. Like that's a fat trade. So I also need back like 129 and 241. I don't love that. Maybe it's not the 49er. Maybe it's the Eagles moving back up because they have all this capital. So maybe it's like 54 to 60 and 69 to 89. I don't think that's too bad for either side. And the Eagles are going to be the team that moves up to select Jordan Tyson to be their wide receiver 1/2 of the future to pair with Devontae Smith. All right, 26. Stop. Please, please, please stop. Please stop. Thank you. Who? All right, what would Brandon Beane be thinking at this pick? Based on what he did last year with taking Maxwell Harrison, a big time speed corner, maybe he goes with a big time speed receiver in Casey Concepcion this year to help out new head coach Joe Brady and Josh Allen on offense. All right, 27 for the Niners. Oh, please stop, please stop, please stop. Yes, this is a perfect spot for insanity, in my opinion, because there's no tackle insane. Wide receiver, maybe Chris Brazzell would be like insanity. But no, I know exactly what I want to do. Got two edge rushers coming off season ending injuries in Nick Bosa and Michael Williams. You could use the third body regardless with Bryce Huff retiring. We are going to go Malachi Lawrence out of UCF to be the insanity pick for the San Francisco 49ers in the first round. That was one that actually was just very, very easy to put together. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Stop, 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 stop. Thank you. All right, 28 for this is not, yeah, this is the Chicago Bears. The mind of Ryan Poles, right? I would say Ryan Poles probably wants to invest that on defense, definitely. What would Ryan Poles be thinking? Because there's not a lot of proof that he would take safety. He sometimes takes positions you think they don't need. I'm going to actually go with TJ Parker out of Clemson. I mean, the edge room is not that strong, in my opinion, personally, with like Deo was not very good last year for the Bears. Montez Sweat play regressed. I know the statistics look good, like the overall numbers, like sack numbers look good. Wasn't great. So maybe TJ Parker would be the best overall positional value to invest there at that pick. Another minded GM pick? All right, let's do it. The Kansas City Chiefs. What would Brett Veach be thinking here? Ninth overall after taking Kenyon Sadiq. I think he would be trying to add a big time corner, and you might say, "Oh, Chiefs don't draft corner early." That's not true. They traded up for Trent McDuffie, so when they need a corner, they will. I think Colton Hood's pretty good value at this point in time, so I think Brett Veach would probably be taking Colton Hood here. All right, 30 for my Dolphins. Got Keldrick Falk earlier from a what massive reach was the idea. Can't get any closer than that. Okay, the Dolphins took a massive reach, and now they are taking another reach. How fun! In my opinion, like I guess Blake Miller is not really considered a reach. I think the receivers probably would fall under massive. Brandon Cisse could be viewed as like a reach potentially. Hmm. You know, based on how the NFL is talking in like the mock drafts, it sounds like Emmanuel Pregnon isn't really viewed as a first round pick. So I guess technically Pregnon could be viewed as a reach, even though I think he's a really good player. I don't really see Miami doing that though. So it's like if anything, Keelan Rutledge probably would be considered massive potentially. Tight end, no. Um, I would say Brandon Cisse would probably be somewhat of a reach to me. Like Chris Johnson's better. I haven't seen Cisse in a lot of first round mocks as of recently, so it sounds like he's going in the second round. So definitely to me, not the best corner on the board. So you are reaching a little bit down the board. Because I don't like the Emmanuel Pregnon pick solely because of the overall age. I don't see the Dolphins drafting too many people that are 24. So we are going to be taking Brandon Cisse there at 30. 31, another reach. Okay. Who are the Patriots going to be reaching on? I think this would be viewed as a reach to mock drafts. To me, this would be the steal of the draft. We are going to go ahead and take Zion Young to the Patriots out of Missouri. Haven't seen Zion Young in a lot of first round mocks. I have a top 20 grade on him personally. So, yeah, to the consensus, this could be looked at as a reach. To me, it's going to be looked at as one of the best picks in the draft. All right, 32 to end off the Wheel of Insanity mock draft. What are we going to do for the Seattle Seahawks? Seahawks are also reaching. It's just a reach heavy day, and I think this time the logical pick for me would be Emmanuel Pregnon, just to get a starting guard to replace Anthony Bradford. Fits scheme well with the power and athleticism. So yeah, we are going to go Pregnon here. Let's back this out. And yeah, guys, this is going to be officially here. Maybe zoom it out one or two more times. This officially will be the Wheel of Insanity mock draft. I hope y'all enjoyed. I know it was pretty insane, but that's the whole purpose of this stuff is to have fun. So yeah, y'all let me know on some of the trades did and some of the picks, and give me your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, tomorrow is next time. Peace out.